So let's get into today's topic. It's not always easy growing up with weight issues. It's not easy because people look at your outside. People look at what they see. We're very observant people, but we make notions based on what we observe and what we see. And so a lot of people would see me and think, wow, this girl eats too much. Wow, this girl doesn't exercise. Wow, this girl must be lazy. Wow, this girl is an embarrassment. Wow, this girl. But she's beautiful, though. Yeah. I was treated like a doormat. Heavy set, chunky, chubby, every name in the name of the book. I was treated like something that was worth being hidden. I was treated like something that wasn't meant to be shown in society. But I had a beautiful heart, a beautiful spirit, a lovely smile. And at the time, my freak leak was off the chain. And that's what they chained me to. That's the only thing that they gave use to. They thought that I was nothing but a toy to play with. I don't know why in the Caribbean we find it so funny to just speak our minds without even thinking. The Bible talks a lot about being kind, being loving, being mindful of the words that we speak. Do unto others as you want done unto you. And a lot of people, they speak that without understanding the truth of it, that means that you literally have to treat people as if you would want done to you. So if you would be upset if somebody commented on your weight or the color of your skin or the way you look, then why would you fix your eyes to make somebody else cry at the words that you speak? I grew up understanding that I was thicker, understanding that clothes didn't really fit me all that crazy. But here's the thing. As I look back now at the size I was then, I was like, man, I wish I had more confidence. Because confidence would have shut down the rumors and the lies. Confidence would have told them to stick a sock in it when they were coming after me. Confidence would have told me, girl, you're beautiful no matter how you look. Now, the lack of confidence has me looking back, wishing that were the place that I am now. Although I have more confidence now, we always look back and say, man, that's wild. I didn't even look bad back then, but the people around me made me feel like I was horrible. Made me feel like I was doing too much. And so I developed a binge eating disorder where I would starve myself at school and then go home and eat because I thought that if people didn't see me eating, that they wouldn't call me fat. Wrong. I thought that if people couldn't see me, then they would leave me alone. If I was invisible to them, I'd be invisible to the words. Oh boy, I was wrong. And so I have this issue of weight. And it's an issue that has followed me. It's an issue that has made my life painful in moments. I won't forget the story. I remember there was this guy who I really liked. He was a good friend of mine at the time. We were just friends with benefits, but that's fine. That was my friend with benefit, and we had taken some time off from seeing each other, but we had decided to kick it, and I brought him to my house when I lived in Toronto, and at the time my little sister was staying with me, and he came over, and his comment, he wasn't really trying to mess with me, but his comment that day was, so what's your sister saying? I don't know what would have possessed him to want to go from one sister to the other. And the only thing I could think of was that she was a smaller version of me. I think that was a painful moment that I've carried for a while. And as much as I release it, I haven't forgotten the way that he made me feel in that moment, making me feel like I was worthless, making me feel like I was not valued, that the weight on my body caused him to change his mind to satisfy his taste for something different. And it was the same story for my son's father, that I was told one time that he's just really shallow. And it was in that moment that I knew his shallowness was because the weight on me was too much, and he was afraid that society would speak too loudly about who I was and what I looked like. Although my face was pretty, it wasn't enough. The weight has been this monster that is attached to me, and so often I dreamt that I could just cut the fat away and I would be okay. But understanding that that's not how the body works, I understood that I had to do a different method. Acceptance had to come. But how do I accept something that society has told me time and time again is just a lack of effort on my part, is laziness, is everything else? And I was like, wow. In university, I was so busy trying to get a degree and be a mom that I ate whatever scraps was available. I ate whatever I could find. Sometimes we didn't have enough money for food, and so we would either go to the food bank, or I had to rent out my car to get some money, and I would buy what was available. I would buy what I could afford, and no, that wasn't always salads, but it was something that kept me going, because food is for fuel, right? Food is for fuel. It wasn't until I got older, I had a dream once, and in this dream, I wish I remembered exactly how it went, but in this dream, I saw the word PCOS. I started looking it up because for years I had been back and forth to my doctors believing that I had a hormone issue, but I was always borderline, and there was never any real line to draw to prove that there was something wrong. And so it just stayed that I ate too much, I needed to exercise, and I've had many different trainers. Exercise wasn't a thing I was afraid of. I loved lifting weights. I loved pushing the envelope. I loved working out, and yet my body looked like I didn't work out at all. Unless I was starving myself, that was the only time that I was able to see some type of results, but it never lasted. How could it? So I saw the word PCOS in a dream, and I woke up and I looked it up, and I realized that it was a hormonal imbalance. And I said, wow. And I started looking up all the symptoms. I started looking at all the effects of it and all the things that, those are symptoms, all the things that you feel to identify whether or not you could potentially have, PCOS. And here's the thing. I hit most of those lists, right? And I wasn't trying to be Google doctor, but I'm like, something has to be an issue if I am trying to do better at eating, if I do exercise, like something has to be the issue. Now, I knew that sleep played an important role in society. I knew that I snored, and I knew that I needed help with that, but I was like, something else has to be going on. So I look up this thing. I find out that yes, I potentially have this diagnosis, and that would explain a lot of why I've been doing things without effect. That all these years that people had made me feel like it was food, it really was more hormones, and I just didn't understand. And it gave me relief to know that my weight wasn't because I was lazy. My weight wasn't because I overate. My weight was a combination of things, but one of the biggest things being hormones. And one of the huge things about hormones and stress is our bodies are not meant to be stressed out. And I had to learn that the hard way. That one of the most important things that I was missing in my life was one of the things that I got the least of, which was sleep. And I didn't sleep a whole lot because I was going from trauma to trauma. I was feeding my addictions at night, going to school in the day, trying to act normal anyways, be a mother, volunteer, be the tenant rep, and do everything else that I need to do to live life and to seem normal. Hang out with friends and make time for all these people who needed me to make time for them. And like, in that, there was very little time for sleep. In that, there was very little time for nutrition or to take vitamins or anything else, because I was just fighting to stay alive at this point. I was fighting to stay alive, to take care of my kids, to do what society wanted me to do, and to do it without harming myself. Like, that's where my mindset was. And so I find out about this thing called stress and PCOS, and how when you don't sleep, it can have a horrible effect on your body, and it can mess up your eating. It can mess up so many other things. And by this time, I honestly felt like a zombie. This is why I was blacking out randomly. Like, I would just fall asleep or wake up. My body was exhausted. And I had no clue. I had no clue how to take care of it. I had no clue how to do anything different. So I had to wake up. I had to wake up and not just look at my eating, but look at the things that was around me. Look at the trauma I was in. Look at the therapy that I needed. Look at how to be a better mother. Look at just all the things that come together and work better when they're all like being addressed, instead of just trying to address one without the other. And so, yes, addressing nutrition, but it also needed to address the fact that I wasn't sleeping. The fact that my sleep had been interrupted for so many years, and I just didn't even know how to get it back on track, because I was so focused on worrying about the bills, worrying about life, worrying about who this person is, if they're trying to come after me, worrying about this story or that. And so it really made me see that all these years I had been just taking what people said. I had just been running with the nonsense and the noise. I could have taken more time to really, truly build a self-care routine, or build within myself something that would help me improve, instead of just like throwing my hands up in the air and saying, I don't know what to do. And just being stuck, being completely stuck. Now, I know there's a whole lot more technology. There's a whole lot more speaking out about weight loss and about things than there was back then. But it was still now up to me to take what I was learning, to take what I was feeling, and turn it into something that would be helpful. And one of the things that I've truly been working on these last little bit is working on my sleep. Working on making sure that I'm not getting stuck in this hustle mentality or mode, and thinking that, well, we only have this one life to live. I gotta work, I gotta hustle, I gotta this. My body functions better in rest. And you know something that I've proven this for myself. Anytime I don't get enough sleep, beyond the fact that my brain is foggy, I find that's when I'm a lot sadder. I find that's when depression tries to make a re-entry. I find that's when I get more anxious about certain things. Like, when I'm not thinking straight because I didn't get enough sleep, that's when all the lies start to come into my head, and I start condemning myself and being really guilty or frustrated over things that I can't change. And so I've learned that sleep is really important. Sleep is important for our hormones. Sleep is important for our body. Sleep is important for our mindsets. Because without strong minds, we're literally susceptible to anything and everything. And I know we're just like, well, I have to work. Where is there time to be getting this 8-hour sleep? Honestly, think of all the people who we've met or who we've heard about who are successful, but then they die of cancer, who are working really hard, 9 to 5s, and then one day they drop. It's because they kept telling themselves the same story that we tell ourselves. Yes, I need to sleep, but I also need to make this money. Yes, I need to sleep, but I also need to work. I also need to be here. There's bosses and people who are waiting on me. They're waiting to replace us. We are just one call away from a whole different life. And I know for me, since I've been prioritizing sleep, it has made my days better. I'm not so foggy. I'm not so groggy. I'm not so strung out on like what to do. I'm not so like my memory is not so scattered. I can honestly think straighter and I can honestly make better and more informed decisions. I think when it came to me and stress, I had to recognize that stress was something I had not just built out through my life, but I'd almost worn it as a badge of honor. Like, yes, I'm stressed out about this. I'm stressed out about that. And, like, making it seem like stress is cool. But no, stress kills. Stress honestly kills. And I didn't want it to kill me. I didn't want that to be the thing that took me out of this world. I didn't want that to be the thing that ruined the purposes that God has put on this earth. I didn't want it to be that the fact that I just didn't take care of my temple to be the reason that I was no longer here on this earth. Like, and I've been around people who, man, I love them, but if they took better care of themselves, they would still be here today. And so while I still have breath in my lungs, and although I still have weight on me, I'm not going to wait until it's too late to make the changes. I'm going to start today. I'm going to start now. I'm going to start last week. I'm going to start ASAP. And if that means I start with putting myself to bed a little bit earlier, making sure I slept in today, and I was like, wow, that was such a long sleep. I felt like I could barely even get up. And when I checked how long I slept, it was about 8 hours and 23 minutes. Y'all, the normal sleep time felt super long to me. That's insane. Because that's how much my body needs, and that's how much my body wasn't getting it. That just it getting that hour of sleep, that hour extra sleep or whatever, made it feel like I was just wasting away the day. The days are not meant to be overfilled with things. They're meant to be focused. They're meant to be thought on. They're meant to be planned out. They're meant to be moved in peace. We can be busy and still at peace, because peace is not stillness all the time. Peace can be in the midst of a storm. You're able to handle things because you're level-headed, you're thinking straight, and you know what you got to do, so you execute it according to that. And that's the life that I want to build. People are talking about, oh, I want to build a soft life. I want to build a peaceful life. I want to build a life where I'm just so committed to peace, so committed to not stressing, so committed to balancing out my hormones, eating better, sleeping well, and just doing the things that make me happy. I'm so committed to helping other people along the way. I'm so committed to not going on this journey alone, getting to the top and being like, come on, guys, and now this is how I did it. I'm ready to bring y'all along this journey because it's important that we're transparent about where we are. It's important that we're transparent about the life that we're building, the reality of it. We're not here just to show a perfect life that is not happening. We are here to grow. We're here to sharpen people along the way. We're here to build and to make sure that the life that we build is one worth living. So wait, and wake. The choice is yours. Hey, thank you so much for listening to the Lips and Language podcast. My name is Cola. I am so excited that you are here. If anything I said today resonated, then get in touch with me. I have an amazing mentorship program. It is for those who feel misunderstood, overwhelmed, going through grief. It is truly an amazing time. If you want more info, hit my website, lipsandlanguage.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can hit it up on the website or DM me. I have a free gift for you, and I would love to be in contact with you. Whatever you decide, just know that healing, it looks good on you. And I'm so excited that we get to do this journey together. Have a blessed day. And if nobody told you, I will. I love you. Enjoy your day, and we'll talk soon. Peace.